All right. Hello, everyone. Good Monday to you, if it is a Monday where you are. And welcome to the introduction to the Global Virtual Design Sprint. My name is Robert Scrobe. I am off camera for this, just because I can tend to be a bit distracting in terms of giving you the information you need to understand all about what the Global Virtual Design Sprint is. This introductory webinar is meant to be informational. There will be some Q&A at the end for those who are attending both on Zoom and YouTube. But what I'll be doing for the next 15 to 20 minutes is going through what the Global Virtual Design Sprint is all about, who it's for, what we're going to be doing that's new in May, what the event schedule looks like, and some other things around the Global Virtual Design Sprint that would be good to know. If you do have any questions during the webinar that we're going through here, feel free to populate the Q&A with some of your questions as they come up, and I'll take those towards the end. If you'd like to, if you're on YouTube and watching this, you can also put in your comments into the stream, and I'll be able to pick those up with no problem whatsoever. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. If you'd like to, if you are on Zoom right now, you can go ahead and post in your city and state so I can get an idea of where you're from, and I'll take a look at those in just a second. Just to make sure you're in the right spot, excuse me, we're going to be talking about the Global Virtual Design Sprint. So this is an event that has been happening since 2018. It is the first of its kind where it basically took the design sprint process and put it into a virtual environment. And back then, it was kind of it was one of those things that had never occurred before. There were people that were doing the design sprint remotely. They were having teams that were in whole teams that were in one location versus some teams that were in another. Whereas the Global Virtual Design Sprint basically had the hypothesis that everyone could do this process with their own computer, meaning that it was one screen per person, and getting them all on the same page around a particular challenge and working it through for the week and seeing what came out of it. Originally, it was just an experiment, and it's grown now to an international event where we have about 100 and 150 professionals every single time going through various challenges that people submit, as well as ones that we are now going to be participating in there from other organizations. I'll get to that in a second. But the whole purpose of doing the GVDS is essentially to put professionals on an international stage to showcase what they can do, the best possible work that they can do. It isn't necessarily just to explore a challenge, that's part of it, but my goal is to showcase people and their abilities so that they can move themselves ahead professionally in a meaningful way. I'm going to go ahead and enter full screen so that you don't have to see all the URL information and so on. So who is this event for? Historically, the first three audiences that you see here typically are the ones that come to the event every single time. There's facilitators and co-facilitators that want to understand how to do virtual design sprints online. There are designers who want to put their work and their designs that come out of these events into their portfolio or share them on social. We also have researchers that come in that want to get a taste for how it is to interview people and gather information about subject matter experts and bring them together for the team. We also have developers, full-time students, and entrepreneurs that have started coming to the event for various reasons. Entrepreneurs in particular, so that they can essentially explore different business ideas, services, and products with prototyping. This was something that we're integrating more and more into the event. And full-time students that want to basically showcase what they can do. This is usually a great event for students who are going to be graduating, that want to add to their kind of their experience base with potential employers. We've had people use this event for that particular purpose. Developers historically have been a group that has been a real balancing kind of role in the event, where most people are very aspirational and put ideas on the table. Developers usually have a practical, applied sense of what can be done, and that really helps kind of ground teams in what they can do. The kinds of things you get from participating in the GVDS tend to be wide and varied. The ones that people talk about the most is the ability to network with so many different professionals around the world, being able to collaborate with them in a real-time environment to work on meaningful projects, whether they're of the social good or they're just to basically explore something interesting. With prototyping and introducing that into the mix, our participants now have the ability to test ideas in the market cheaply and quickly, and putting prototypes in front of their target audiences that are believable so that they can vet out what they think may work in the market. This event is unique in that it basically uses a learn by doing approach to virtual design sprints and by the process in general. This is not where you do a series of classes and then you are tested and you get a certificate. There are plenty of other organizations that do that. This is really, you can take what you've either read or done in a master class or are thinking about doing with prototyping or virtual design sprints, and put this and actually do it with other people internationally, like literally like personal training for design sprints is the way one person put it. Let's see. So what's new for this particular event are a few things. The Open Innovation Challenge that we opened last week now has a theme, which is living in a post-COVID world, where the opportunities and the challenges that correspond to that are going to be explored through this event. People can basically anyone really can submit their own Open Innovation Challenge. We have a few that are going through the pipeline right now where they're being vetted by myself and some other people in terms of making sure they're understood. But even if you're not a part of the GVDS, you can submit a challenge for other people to consider. We're also going to be showcasing a feature facilitator series. These are for professionals that have been through the Global Virtual Design Sprint that have showcased their abilities very well, that have their own unique style to facilitation and to going through a design sprint process or even a workshop. And we're going to put them on a stage so that they can show their unique abilities to do that, promote their small business, even bring a challenge to the table that they feel would be interesting to for everyone to consider. So it's kind of like a prepackaged virtual design sprint experience with particular facilitators that are very versed in this space. Like I mentioned, there's going to be plenty of opportunities to network. We're going to be doing some events on Clubhouse. We got one coming up this Tuesday. The community of practice is going to be having some walkthroughs of different tools every single month. So there's a lot going on in terms of the community being active. I'm also working pretty heavily on a learning series on virtual design sprinting that I'm going to be putting on Podia. This is going to supplement the learning experience for people who have never done virtual design sprints. This will basically give them the ability to walk through the process, learn it in a very practical way, and using human-centric language, and not really using really abstract nomenclature that other learning modules or other master classes do. This literally teaches you how to go through the process in a very practical way and for your situation. So all of that is coming up in May. In terms of what the event schedule looks like, this is a month-long event. So this is not something where it's just a day or 2 days like a hackathon. This is literally a month-long experience. The majority of the intensity of the work in terms of doing the actual virtual design sprint is probably going to happen in either May 10th of week 2 or week 3. Most of all teams are going to be going through week 3 to do their virtual design sprints. Some, because of scheduling, will do them on week 2. It will all depend on how the team kind of comes together and when people are going to be available, but we're going to be working through that. Overall, throughout the entire month, you usually spend about 40 hours, not every week, but for the entire month on this experience of understanding the problem space, doing a bit of research, going through the process of a virtual design sprint, and then showcasing what your team has done. That usually takes up. So if you divide it out, week 1 tends to be 5 hours, week 2 is about 10, week 3 is about 20, and then finally the last week is about 5. But what we do is we consider everyone's schedule so that I make sure that when I organize teams, it aligns with your availability. So you don't have to sacrifice or take time off work. You don't have to be away from your family. This is really what you can afford to spend for this particular event. But it is a commitment. So you will learn and you will collaborate, but you do have to kind of make time for it. And I would just talk about time commitments. I just mentioned it. So a little bit of preview. There you go. This is kind of breaking down the numbers a bit based on what it is. So yeah, it's around 40 to 45 hours. I was being a little conservative, but yes, it is 40 to 45 hours of your time to kind of go through all of these particular processes for the month, but you will learn a lot. You will collaborate with a lot of different professionals that you have never met, and it's usually an experience that especially with the people that you meet, it tends to continue on past the event for what you're interested in. Finally, there is a cost to participating. Originally, it was free. Starting in back last year, we started charging for it, primarily because I had to justify it to the family and everybody else that this was worth doing. So the different tiers are here. I will say that the early bird pricing that you're seeing here is going to end basically at the end of this week. So you've got until this week to reach this particular tier. After that, it would be discounted rates for partner events, or if you know somebody that has been through the GVDS, there's a referral program that goes along with that as well. For those that have basically won awards in this particular event, like basically peer-based awards for their work, they have a much lower price tier because I welcome them in because they're part of the event. I mean, they've already proven and they've shown that they've really contributed in a meaningful way. So I try to make it worthwhile for people to come back if they really like the event and they find a benefit from it. So it's a kind of a mutual kind of, I wouldn't say handshake, but a mutual agreement that there's a lot of value for both parties. For those that cannot pay, meaning that if you're suffering from financial hardships from the pandemic or from any particular situation that may be corresponding to you, there is something that we do called the promise to pay. I've had a few people do this in the past, where you don't pay up front for the event, but you promise to pay before we go ahead and do another one of these in September. So that is an option if you want to go that route, if it's just not available to you in terms of like financially to be part of the event. We do offer that as an alternative. If you want to kind of get an idea of who's coming to the party, so far I just updated this morning. It looks like we're right on schedule in terms of the amount of people that normally come to this. Right around this time, and probably towards the end of February, early March, is when we get the bulk of people signing up, because this is the last week for early bird pricing. This will kind of give you an idea of who does come here. And like I mentioned before, there's designers, facilitators, researchers, but there's a lot of business owners, small business owners. There are product managers that come, innovation coaches, and basically it spans the gamut. But what we tend to do is group people into teams of 5 to 7 people to work on different challenges that these teams pick. I'm just giving you kind of a sampling of the wide range of people that are here to give you an example of the depth and breadth of the audience that we do serve here. There's also a community of practice. These are people that have gone through the event before, but like to keep in touch. They suggest every month some suggestions on what events they'd like to do. We have an end of month networking event for the community of practice. So if people want to connect and talk about different things, they can. We'll be starting up a Clubhouse series for the community of practice. So people can basically dial into that on Thursdays, probably it's going to start, for people that want to know more about the GVDS and also what people are up to and what they're all about. And then finally, I'm going to be giving a link out in just a second for the mural, but there are plenty of references online for this event if you've never heard of it before. There's plenty to do with the sign up, though the sign up, this preview thing has to go. That's a little old. In fact, let me see if I can actually update it now. So this is what you'll encounter when you go through the sign up. But let me get out of full screen and go to this. And I'm going to go back and see if I can actually edit this. So give me a minute. No, I don't want to sign it. Oh, it wants me to sign into my mural. Wow, that's amazing. I had it already signed. I had it up and then it wants me to re-sign in. That's strange. That's really, really weird. But okay, never mind. Or maybe Mural's down. Could Mural have broke down right in the middle of a session? Oh my goodness. Either that or I lost internet connection. Wow. You're kidding me. Is Mural down? It can't be down. It can't be down. Can it? Or am I just having issues? No, it wants me to sign in. Oh my goodness. I think Mural just went down. All right then. Who's with me here? Renmat, I don't know if you're watching this over on this side, but yeah, that's interesting. Mural breaks down right in the middle of a session. All right, well, I don't know what else I could do. I guess we're done. If you have any questions, you can contact me on LinkedIn. In fact, I'll go ahead and put that up right here. So I'll give it, since we were talking about sites, the site you want to go to is virtualdesignsprint.com. This will have all the information that I was about to go into regarding the frequently asked questions of the event. That kind of goes into what I just had in this mural. So in case you didn't catch it, it's all here. There's testimonials from different professionals that showcase what the event is all about and give it from their point of view. Different resources that correspond to the event. We populated a lot of these in terms of orientation, preparation before the sprint. We'll have some templates for Sprint Week that will be coming out in March. If you want to look at who's won awards in this particular event, they're all here on the Spotlight Awards. So all of these are basically people that have won awards that were awarded by their peers and not by me. This is by the people that they worked with on their teams. And all of these are linked. So if you go to Mohammed and you basically check out his particular LinkedIn profile, again, they're all linked on the website so you can check out who's who. And I don't think I'm sending the mural yet. It's still loading. I think mural just went down. It had to be. I'm connected everywhere else. Yeah, mural just went down, I think. See if it's back up. Nope. Wow. All right. And finally, you can contact me if you have any questions about that is a much better looking version of me than what you would see if I was putting my camera on. But I'm available in email, Twitter, LinkedIn, all sorts of places. There's plenty of places to go to check out what I do with virtual design sprints and prototyping. If you're interested in Alberto Savoya's prototyping process, we have something called the Prototyping Professionals that's over there on LinkedIn. That it basically is this is the Facebook one. Hang on. Prototyping Professionals on LinkedIn. There we go. Getting the wrong one. I have too many of these. If you are on LinkedIn, this is a place where we're doing a prototyping challenge. Prototyping, for reference, is the ability to go into the market and test your ideas for desirability by your intended audience. And I'm going through a stepped process. So this is part one, this is step two, I named it differently. But this will go through how to actually go about prototyping. And this will help you explore the process before you actually do the GVDS, if you decide to sign up for it. So I'm kind of stuck with mural. I can't go any further. I'm checking to see if there are any questions in the chat and Q&A. There's none there. Just check the chat real fast. There is none. So I have somebody hanging out. Go over to YouTube, see if anybody's there. New. All right, we're good. So hope you enjoy your Monday. Hopefully I was able to give you enough information about the GVDS. Again, you want to go to virtualdesignsprint.com if you want any of the information about the event. And I'm available on LinkedIn if you need me. All right, so take care. Thanks for tuning in. And I hope everyone has a good week. All right, bye-bye.